This video is all about auto routing. In the main part of the content, we routed this whole board by hand, and that's a really good practice to get into, to just be practiced in laying traces, in descending order of priority, and taking into account basically every decision of the process. Now, there do exist auto routers that can make things a little bit easier. I've already installed the free routing plugin on this version of KiCad. You can find that under the plugin and content manager. And if you search for Autoroute, then you'll be able to install the free routing integration. It'll also probably prompt you to install the Java runtime environment, which you can see me doing. The counterintuitive thing about this software is once you click that install, you have to apply pending changes in this menu for those changes to take effect. In any case, I'm about to do something that is usually not advised, which is to go to Edit, Global Deletions, and delete all the tracks and vias. I'll leave the filled zones. That's quite useful. I'll strike B to update the fill, and there I have a completely unrouted board again. This has taken us way back in time. I can click the free routing button, and if I just let this run, it's going to automatically route the board, but I'll press cancel so we can have a bit of an explore. Here it's showing a render of the board, and these are the options that we might want to change. I'm going to keep all of these default. This is more just an exhibition that this is possible. So I'll just allow this to run the auto router by clicking auto router, and after a pretty brief wait, I'll strike B again just to refresh those zones. There we have a fully routed board, and it's even respected our net classes, which is really cool. You might recall that we set up this 5-volt net class, and we set up the 12-volt net class, and I wasn't paying too much attention. I really should have set up whatever net class this is. Maybe I should have given this a label, because now this is a thin trace as well. In any case, that's a good argument for routing critical traces first and then allowing auto route to do all the really tedious stuff. You don't have to start with a completely unrouted board. I do encourage you to route those critical parts first. Things like high-speed circuits or high current circuits, things where you really want to prioritize their shape and constraints. And then everything else, things like, power LEDs, this 5-volt power LED, this 12-volt power LED. These are so far down the priority list because they're not high speed and they're not high power. And this is an even better argument for really paying close attention to how you arrange your components, because the better you arrange your components so that the nets are as short as possible, the better job the auto router will be able to do, and you as well when you're manually routing. I've just gone into high contrast mode to show you the trace completion feature. We saw a little bit of this in earlier videos, but we didn't really dwell much on strategy. So if we were routing this board from scratch using trace completion, I'd probably start on this 5-volt XF, and then come up here XF, XF, and then maybe we'd work on this pin. And I'm just working on all the pads on the same net that I can see. And that way I can build in this design intent as I go. And you can see it's just so fast to block these nets in. There's that net class problem again. I should have made that net class. That one's just blocked in as a pretty narrow trace. That's okay for now. And here, we didn't do this last time. We actually dropped down with a via, but it's possible to sneak this ground trace around. Proceed as you like. It doesn't violate the rules. If you've set your rules up correctly, you should be able to trust them.